All right, we are live in the crypt. It's been a while. We got a big show tonight. I'm real excited about it. See if I can dust off some of these cobwebs and stuff that it's been a little bit, like I said, since the podcast. But exciting show. I'm real excited to be talking about this. We're back on the road to Memphis 3D out here in November. I don't even have the dates handy, but in November. It's our post Halloween. Don't forget about Halloween event. It's one of my favorites. And together tonight, once again, we got Jaime Wright. We'll bring him up on stage now. Jaime, good to see you, my friend. Can you
It's
hear
been a
me?
while.
It has been a while. It has. Like I
Yeah.
said, I'm getting
Yeah.
knocking off some of this rust and stuff. It's feels like so long since I've done a podcast and talked to anybody, and really excited about Memphis MonsterCon 3D this year. You got quite the guest list this year, and we're going to be joined tonight by one of my favorite people out there in the world, let alone one of your guests that you got, and one of the coolest people. I think people are going to love meeting this man, and we'll bring him up
Absolutely.
pretty soon. But what you've been up to? I know you've been a busy man as well. That's why we're so late on the road to Memphis as well. You've been a busy dude too.
Yeah, I just got back from San Diego a week ago. It was madness as always. Expanding the shops, expanding the businesses. Um, About to be a soccer coach for my son.
Oh, nice. Nice
So
hands and everything. So
yeah,
you got that soccer knowledge or
yeah. I
football?
played soccer in high school, so
All right. Well,
yeah.
just don't say soccer in front of the Europeans or you'll get killed. But it's soccer. I played soccer when I was a kid. It was fun. My dad coached, so you'll be building some of those great memories with your kid. And
Oh
the
yeah.
thought you're doing that, I think you're going to really enjoy it, and he's going to enjoy it a lot as well. So, Memphis MonsterCon 3D, third time's a charm. You got a lot going on. We haven't even really had a chance to catch up on all the stuff you'll be up to. And
Yeah. Moved to a
we
new venue, new, better, bigger venue. Excited about that. I mean, the guests that we put together for this, each one's amazing. I mean, everybody is going to have a good time at this one, for sure.
and you're kind of adding some things that you put in together. I don't know how much you've announced so far about it, but you have guests like Ari Lehman,
Yep.
um, Walter Fellon. You have a lot of guests coming that are also not just horror icons, but musicians as well.
Right. Yeah, and actually, Ari's band First Jason is going to perform. It's actually going to be like how we normally do an after party. This is actually kind of going to be a pre-party because there's a big local music festival happening the same weekend called Memphis Hate You Fest, and they're actually going to play it on Friday night.
Yeah, that's going to be. You've always kind of incorporated the music after shows, and I've had a great time with that as well. But this year, you've got, like we said, you got the guests that are coming that are actually going to be performing as well. So that'll be
Yeah.
kind of a cool pre-show. Make it a whole fun weekend because it's 2 days. So now in a sense, you're going to have a little bit of entertainment on Friday as well.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's
And then
that's really
we'll continue the after party at Memphis Hate You Fest for night two on Saturday
yeah.
night as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild weekend. I'm not doing a lot of conventions this year with the new house and everything going on. I'm not even doing Scarefest this year, which is
Yeah.
kind of sad for me. Yeah, it's just too busy. It's too much time to take up, but I got to be there for Memphis. It's a huge honor hosting the panels, and I always have such a great time. My mom and dad, as you know, love the show, and it's a really good friendly show that everybody who goes in the last 2 years that you've done this has really enjoyed the event. It grew from the first year to the second year, and I'm excited to see people come in the third year. I think there's going to be a lot of returning people, a lot of new people, and they're in for a treat because you do put on a really well thought out convention, and you bring in some really great guests. You're very picky on the guests you bring in a sense, not picky, but you really put a lot of thought into each guest. And not only are they really talented people, but they're also really great people as well. And
Absolutely.
you got a great one coming in. I'm excited because we were trying to talk them into coming, but it was last minute. I'm glad you're bringing them in this year, and we'll just introduce them now. One of my good friends, one of my favorite people. I can't wait to hear what he's been up to, and And I can't wait for people to meet him in Memphis, Mr. Michael Bailey Smith.
Hey,
Michael, what is going on,
how are
my
you?
friend?
Good.
Good to see you. And you
You
got
too,
your
sir.
decorations behind you we were talking about. And you've been up to so much recently with kind of the resurgence in the Fantastic Four and your little cameo in there and being on the red
Yeah.
carpet and all the really great things going for you, along with everything you've done. I think your recognition's really getting out there and you're doing some amazing things, my friend. I'm excited for you.
Okay. Well, wow. I don't know if I can live up to all that hype, but thank you for that. I appreciate that. And Jamie, it's good to see you, and I can't wait to do your show. It'll be fun. Get to drive down because I live in Northwest Arkansas now, so just a few hours away. I'll drive down there with my awesome and much better half. My wife will come down with me, and so she's always an attraction at any table I'm at. So she actually knows my stories better than I do. So when I talk about a character or a story behind it, she's the one that's telling it. I'm like, okay, well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's
We're super happy to have you.
thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, the whole Fantastic Four thing was pretty remarkable. I don't know if you heard the story and how that happened. Rebecca Staub was actually who played the Invisible Woman or Sue Storm in the original Fantastic Four. Rebecca Staub is a very well-known, seasoned actress. She's been in the business a long time, and she was meeting with the casting directors on something else, and said, "Hey, someday what do you guys think about sticking, the original Fantastic Four in this new Fantastic Four film?" And the cast director says, "Yeah, that's kind of interesting idea. Let me run it by the producers and see if that would happen." And I says, "But it's probably it's probably a long shot, right?" So they ran it by all the producers at Marvel and the director, and unbeknownst to everybody, they had been watching the original Fantastic Four over and over and over again because they loved our original Fantastic Four and how it was about family, and that whole dynamic. And so they, as you can see in the 2025 one, it's a lot about family, right? And it's like Sue Storm's story pretty much, in the 2025 version, her fighting not only for her family, meaning Ben and Reed and Johnny, but also for her baby. And so that was coming. And so yeah, and then I was pulling into the garage at a rental house me and my wife had, and I get this call. It was in probably April, or I think it was April of 2025, and I'm like, this call from London, and it's this guy named Grant Curtis, and he says, "Hey, Michael, how are you? This is Grant Curtis from Marvel." I said, "Okay, how you doing?" He says, "Great. I'm here in London. We're finishing up Fantastic Four. We're getting back to the States here shortly, and we'll be in LA and probably in about a month. We'd love to have you and the rest of the Fantastic Four, in our new one." I'm like, "Wow, okay." I said, "So doing what?" He goes, "Probably just something cameos, nothing spectacular, but we'd love to have you. We want to give you a little bit of homage to the original and what you've done." And I'm like, "Thank you, sir." And then he went on to say, about our original and how it was about family. And I said, "That is true, but I also know," and this kind of struck him, but I said, when that film got shelved, it really hit me in the face that this is not show friends, it's show business, and it's about making money. And if you don't make money, you don't make movies. So no matter how much art you want to put into it or anything like that, if your project doesn't make money, you're not making it anymore. And that's pretty much the real story, right? So, our original 1994 version was only made because a producer from New Constantine, Bernard Eichlinger, who has since passed away, he had the rights and was going to lose it, and had to start a production. You want to do something cheap, down and dirty, and who do you go to? Roger Corman, right? And that's what you do. And normally Hollywood is shut down probably between December 15th and January 15th. There's no production going on because everybody's going home to see family and stuff. Lo and behold, we start production when? December like 25th or 26th, or that's not for Christmas. So by 27th or 28th, we started production. Very strange. We didn't, and unbeknownst to us again, Bernard Eichling was going to lose the rights if he didn't start production of something by January 1st. And so that's why we started like, December 28th. We finished the film. I remember it was a very clandestine effort by the director and Grant Garland. He's one of the editors. They were doing other films and editing other films, and they would take the film from the Fantastic Four and put it on the editor, and it's all manual editing, right? Cutting film and things back in the day, and they would edit the film on the side. They got an orchestra, full on orchestra, to donate their own time for the music, which original score, if you look at it, just a lot of. The only thing they couldn't get halfway decent was visual effects, but everything else is grassroots kind of thing. And I remember they said, oh, they cut a trailer together, and they were going to show it at the Shrine Auditorium, and they invited us to be there. So it's me, Alex Hyde-White, who played Reed Richards, and Jay Underwood, who played Johnny Storm, and of course Rebecca, and we're all there. And at Shrine Auditorium, there was a Comic-Con there. The line to see the trailer was out the door, down the street, and around the corner. It must have been 500 or 600 people lined up to see this trailer. And they all filed in, they played the trailer, and there was a huge applause, cheering, jumping up and down. Oh my gosh, this is the greatest thing since sliced bread, whatever. And Alex looks at me and he goes, Michael, we're going to have to do something. And I said, what's that? He goes, we're going to hire a publicist and we're going to start promoting. And so no one had any money except for me. I had a little bit of money. So I ended up spending close to 15 grand on my own money. It's in the 90s, right? For a publicist. We got this young guy, and he got us around the United States, going to Comic-Cons in Florida, New York, everywhere else, promoting the Fantastic Four, signing autographs. I've been to children's hospitals and radio and television shows and everything. And crazy thing. We were flying back. Me and Alex was flying back on an airline back to LA from, I think it was Florida. So it was a long flight. Back in the day when the safety briefing they give, now it's all electronic, right? Back in the day, it was on VHS. Well, I had the VHS trailer of the Fantastic Four. I went up and talked to the flight attendant, and said, hey, that's what I did. I put it in. She let me put it in there, and we played the Fantastic Four trailer to everybody in the plane, and they all cheered. The plane was jumping up and down in the air because everybody was really happy. And so that's what we were doing, grassroots, and we got it all set up and rocking and rolling. And we had a premiere set up at the Mall of America in Minneapolis. And about 2 weeks before Christmas, I got a call from Ole, the director, who said, I'm sorry, Michael, but we have to cease and desist all promotions because the rights have been sold to 20th Century. And so we were devastated. But again, you learn a lesson. It's not show friends, it's show business. And so let's flash forward just 10 years. So maybe not even that long. Well, we heard the rumors, right? We were devastated. I felt really bad for like Ole and others who were going to use that movie to propel them to the next career. We were too. I had hair. I was good looking. I was well built, slim, and all that stuff like that. I'm in my early 30s, and I was thinking maybe I could be a leading man, with this role or whatever, right? And so, but for me, because of my size, I would slick my hair back and start playing bad guys. And that's what I did. And then, it really became prevalent when I did Charm for 2 years. I had to shave my head for that show. And then I played nothing but bad guys for the rest of the time, which was awesome, right? I did some really cool stuff. But anyway, we knew that the rights are sold to 20th Century. We heard that Chris Columbus was going to be the director of it. He had a bungalow on 20th Century in the maybe late 90s. I had an audition at the Chris Columbus bungalow on 20th Century. So I'm walking down the hallway, and these are like these old wooden bungalows, right? Nothing fancy. And I'm walking down the hallway, and I'm like, I'm in enemy territory. That's what I'm thinking, right? When I'm walking down the hallway, right? I'm gonna bust somebody up because they stole our film, right? Whatever. And I walk by a door, and leaning against this desk on the floor was a manila envelope, and it said F4 Pics. And I stopped, I looked at it, I stared longer. Then I said, screw it. I walked in and went, hello, is anybody here? And eventually this lady comes out the back. She goes, yes, may I help you? I said, wow, I saw that envelope there. It says F4 Pics. Is that from the new Fantastic Four? And she goes, yeah. Yeah, we're doing it. We're really excited about it. And, it's gonna be a great project. I said, well, I hope you know, but I was in the original. She looks at me like, original? I said, yeah, in 1994. I said, I played Ben Grimm, the Thing. It's clobbering time, right? I did that. That's what I did, right? I played that. And I said, the whole thing got shelved and whatever. She goes, what? No, we're the original. I said, no, we're the original. She didn't even know that there was an original done. That's how much it was shelved and whatever, right? So she got really indignant. She goes, well, we're doing it now, so you're just gonna have to leave, kind of snotty, and left. So and that was it. And then later on, I remember I think when I did the Hills Have Eyes, that's when I started going to signings. And I was at a signing somewhere, and I always walk before I get there early. I always walk around the booths, right, and just check out stuff. And I saw this guy selling videos, and I saw a VHS of my movie, The Fantastic Four. I'm like, how did you get this? Oh, it's been out there. It's been out there for a while. It's bootleg, and so that's kind of how this thing started, right? The underground version of The Fantastic Four. So, and it paid off, because guess what? Marvel finally recognized it and had us there. And on the day when we went filming last year, we had our trailer, and we were about probably 50, 60 yards from the set. So we had to walk to the set, and they had us line up, all four of us, and they had us walk shoulder to shoulder to the set. We're all dressed in costume, and they cheered for us the whole way there. You talk about goosebumps, tears in our eyes. It felt like I'm emotional just thinking about it. It was a nice, warm, homecoming. And the director and the producers all come up to us and said, it's really a shame what happened to your film, and we're so glad you're here. And yeah, so it was really cool. And then on the premiere, we got invited to the premiere the month later on July 25th, and that's right there. That right there is me and my wife. She is freaking awesome, and I got voted one of the best dressed in that whole premiere. I beat out everybody.
You were looking snappy there, Mike.
Even the A-list stars, I was like, even everybody. So yeah, it was pretty cool. So
I mean, well, like you said, it was one of those things where I know you guys put a lot of heart into that project that everybody worked on. And there's such a great documentary you can find on Tubi. Anybody who hasn't seen is Doomed.
Oh, Doomed, yeah.
Everybody brags about Michael Bailey and how amazing he was to work with. And it's cool that it's getting the recognition now. I mean, is it pretty crazy that it gets all that recognition and love now? It has become a cult classic.
It has been, and it's funny. You get these little like YouTube clips or TikTok clips, whatever I'll watch. And there's these two guys commenting on the Fantastic Four, and they were commenting on Michael Bailey Smith and Alicia Masters and how they bump into each other if you've not seen the film, and how that's really awkward. And yeah, I think probably I was a little over the top. That was my reaction, but it was literally like, I think my third film. I had done Nightmare on Elm Street 5, played Super Freddy. Then I did a B movie called CIA Codename Alexa with O.J. Simpson, Lorenzo Lamas, Kathleen Kenmont, and And then from there, I did the Fantastic. I did a couple TV shows. I did Renegade and Silk Stockings. You might be too young for those shows, but it's in the 90s. I don't know how old you guys were, but anyway, it
Well,
was
I
shot in,
remember Master Disguise too. You had a big role in that with
that's later on. But anyway, yeah,
yeah,
but
I
yeah,
gotta
but then
bring that up so we don't forget it, because that was
yeah,
a
but
funny role.
then it was the Fantastic Four. So I was still fairly new in the business. So
Yeah, you had a pretty busy 90s though, and early 2000s between Charmed and a lot of these roles. You worked with Jean-Claude Van Damme. I mean, you've been in so many things that you pop up and it's like, I didn't realize you were in that. I didn't realize you were in that, like
yeah,
Master of Disguise, like I brought up. And you had such a big role. It's like, that's how I know him. That's how I know him. I mean,
yeah, it was
even if
great.
you don't know the face at first, because you're always kind of changing your appearance too. I mean, whether it's Super Freddy, Pluto,
I kind of like
Ben
that too,
Grimm.
because nothing wrong with being a movie star, of course, right? But a lot of times movie stars play the same character over and over and over again, right? So I get to do all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I love to be a movie star. I love to be number one on the list, and I have been number one on the call sheet a couple times, right? So, but being a character actor and playing these different characters, and people not like Charmed. I did like 5 different characters on Charmed, and no one knew. They knew I did one Balthazar, but they didn't know I played Shax and all these other characters, right? So I love that. I love the physicality of it. I love being in prosthetics. Like most people hate it, but I like it. People tell me I have a good face for prosthetics. And I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but anyway, so good. I have a good bone structure for it. So, and I'm not a
All
big
I gotta
sweater.
say is get ready, because my business partner Shannon at the comic book shop, he wants to sit down and he's got a bunch of questions to ask you about the Fantastic Four movie.
Yeah. Well, good. This is the popcorn tub it's no too much there. Little popcorn tub from the premiere. I have 2 of them. There's so much popcorn in, and then this is the Fantastic Four hat that they gave us, and I had it signed by all the cast members, so it's kind of cool. So yeah, it's good.
Wow.
Yeah,
That is really cool. I'm
yeah.
so glad I still say Kingpin. I still think that with the multiverse and stuff, I gotta say, I think Michael Bailey would make.
Yeah, but you know what? What's his name? Vincent
Yeah, but
D'Onofrio.
I'm saying with the
really good.
multiverse, I'd like to see a face-off between the 2 of you guys in the
Yeah.
multiverse, because I think you'd be so great at the role as well. I just think it'd be
he's
so cool. You do have that
he's
look, and I'm
incredible.
not the only one who said that.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. No, that would have been cool. So,
Yeah,
in my career, I've always wanted to play like a James Bond villain. The James Bond guy, main villain. That'd have been really nice. I've always wanted to do that.
I could see it though, and it's you still got that great look too. You've kind of aged into a great look of I know you play a lot of villains, but you could play, because you're such a nice guy. You have such a great range of things. You can play that nice guy, but being as big as you are and as intense as you can be, it really plays to what you can bring to the
that's
screen.
this guy here, right?
Yeah.
This is what you gave me. You gave me this one.
Yeah,
so,
by Vinny Cucarato. Yeah, he made that.
So this thing right here is the Bust of the Hills Have Eyes. I mean, I won an award for this one, but this character is awesome because he had such a huge range of emotion, right? From complete violence and terror to being a little kid, like when he finds the baby and he's like picked up the baby. That baby actually liked me when I was filming that. If you see a film of that baby reaching up, touching my face, that baby liked me, because babies don't know what scary is. They don't know. They think right here is normal. They don't know. And I was like this big old like that kind of situation, right? And he just loved it. So, and I love this character because this is kind of like me. I'm a easygoing, really kind of laid back guy. But once you flip the switch, you better call the police.
There's some great Michael Bailey stories, because Mike's also a fantastic writer, and I'm really hoping some of the stuff he's written gets me and put on film. And one of your stories I won't get into too much, but when I was at his wedding, there was a story because he let me read a little bit of some of your script, and one of it was, and I remember it stood out. I'm like, that's just wild. It's just hard to believe it. And then I go and I'm talking at the wedding, and one of your friends brings up the whole situation he was talking you when you had in that scene. I'm like, that was real. I thought he was just writing an over the top like 80s, 90s style fight scene, and he's because you told me it had like a lot to do with your life, and you know it's some inspiration from your road and what you've been through, and one of those I thought was just something you added, but the fact that it was real was pretty crazy because you
I have the stab wounds and the gunshot wound to prove it that I lived through some of this stuff. So yeah, I mean, this one film that got optioned that's going in production, you know, and I don't know if, you know, Jamie, you said that you're starting to coach your son's your kids soccer and things like that, right? That's I did too. I coached youth football, but I also played college football, and I ended up I was with the Dallas Cowboys in camp with them for a very short period of time until I blew my knee out. And you know, you watch all these great movies about these great athletes that overcome all these odds and win the Super Bowl or whatever, right? You never hear about the athlete who gets everything blown out, gets their knee blown out or whatever, and your career ends in a second. You're done. And they hand you the plane ticket and you're going home. And you're like, well, I don't know what to do now. And you go back and you're not the big man on campus anymore. You haven't finished your degree and you're kind of lost and you know what to do. And for me, I got caught up with some bad people and I started doing bad things to bad people. And it led in Detroit area, it led to a really bad situation, where, I was on trial a few times. I had dudes sitting on my car waiting to, put an end to me, just bad things. So anyway, I got out of it. I got lucky. Saw some people get shot besides myself. And so, I turned that into a screenplay, but with a good ending. Yeah. So. Yeah.
He did, and Jamie, I'll tell you one thing. I've been, fortunate enough to read some of Mike's writing, and I'm no pro on judging people's writing, but Mike is an incredible writer. He really puts you have a very special way of writing, and I really hope that it gets to be shown because you do have a fascinating story. I mean, you lived through just amazing, like things that, like I said, there's no way, but it really did. You've had some really interesting, fascinating stories and things that have happened in your journey in life, and you've always kind of defeated the odds. That's what always inspires me, makes me look up to you as well. As there's nothing that's ever stopped you. There might have been wrong or it's
even look like at Hollywood. I mean, come on. I mean, I have no acting experience whatsoever. I went with a friend of mine to an audition. I actually was in San Diego. I had finally finished my degree, got out of Detroit in one piece, chased a girl out to San Diego, thought she was going to be it. She dumped me after a month. And I was palling around with this guy named Steve Henenberry, who later became an American Gladiator and a celebrity in his own right, and he's still doing things. He's a phenomenal human being. Came to the wedding. I don't know if you met him, but he was there. And he's a big time real estate guy in California. Just so happy and proud of him. And he's Mr. Universe and all these things like that. And he's still built like a brick shit house. And I was debugging software at Xerox in a cubicle. And I'm not a cubicle dude. I respect anybody who can spend 8 hours a day, every day in a cubicle, looking at 3 gray walls every day on a computer screen. That's tough. And he said, hey, Michael, I'm going to Los Angeles, read this movie called Nightmare on Elm Street, Part 5. Why don't you come with me? Maybe you can come with me to an audition. I said, okay. So the next day I asked my boss, I said, hey, can I take off today? I want to go up with my friend to Los Angeles. She goes, no. And I thought about it for a second. I says, well, I quit. So quit my job, got in the car with him, and we drove up to Los Angeles. And that led to me auditioning for Nightmare on Elm Street 5, laughing like Freddy Krueger in front of the director, getting hired. And then 2 weeks later, I'm in LA in a trailer with Robert Englund. We're talking about life, Freddy Krueger, Super Freddy, Hollywood, and I still to this day give him so much credit and thanks for inspiring me to become, because the moment I got in front of that camera and they called action, first of all, I was scared shitless, but I loved every second. It reminded me of me lining up across from somebody in football and they're telling me they're going to kill me or I'm going to smash you or whatever. And I'm like, let's go. Right. And the same thing when they call action, there's thousands upon thousands of dollars, riding on you to, perform. Right. And I love that. And so that's what kind of inspired me. And so instead of like, I worked out at Gold's Gym in Venice with all these other big guys, and the other guy, it's in the early 90s, and they all were all huge and jacked up dudes like I was, but none of them studied. And I was probably the only guy that 4 days, 5 days out of a week, I wasn't out partying in Los Angeles. I was in acting class. I was doing scene study and cold reading and audition technique and improv and theater and everything you can think about. I was learning the craft of making sure that I didn't suck. So, in the beginning, I sucked. Trust me, I sucked. I sucked the big one. That's probably not the right thing to say right now, but, but anyway, I did, but I started, it took me probably 1.5 to 2 years to get my feet underneath me and have the confidence to come in and crush auditions. And I learned a valuable lesson, which is kind of funny. I would go in normally like, hey, how you doing? I'm Michael Belly Smith, and all chipper and whatever. And then I would do the character. I would never get the role. And I'm like, and then I don't know what it was. I just kind of hit me. You know what? No one's believing that I can play a bad guy. So what I did, I lowered my voice. I walked into the room. I said, hey, I'm Michael Billy Smith. Let's do this. Whatever. That's the attitude I would have. Yeah. And I crushed it. I even read for a Christian film once and got it. And this is what I did. I said, hey, my name's Michael Billy Smith. And fuck all of you. I played an Antichrist dude, so it worked perfectly. But I ended up getting the role. But that's the kind of what you have to walk in like. Of course, cuss at your casting director or whatever. And nowadays, things have changed where everything's on video. But that's how I learned how to book. And then instead of getting 1 out of 100, I got probably 6 out of 10. I worked all the time. I did it for 30 years. It was phenomenal. So
well, you even mentioned, and a lot of people, and this is just outside observing, is like you said, you played multiple roles on Charmed, but you also were in the sequel for The Hills Have Eyes. So I mean, when you work
totally
with
different
somebody,
character,
when you crush a role, you not only can put yourself in one character and people see it as a character, but you can transition to another character and be, you have a great range of what you're able to do.
Yeah. You ever see the Van Damme film In Hell?
I didn't see that one. No.
Okay.
I'll have to check it out though.
Oh, I got a picture of it. Hold it.
Oh, you got one of those auto cameras going. It's pretty cool. So when you're moving, it actually showed your Pluto piece real nice and stuff.
Can you?
Oh yeah, I've seen that picture.
Okay. Yeah.
That was the one with Jean-Claude Van Damme, right?
Yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme. So that film right there. So I played a character named Valya. So in that, so I got hired for that one role. So, but about halfway through the film, this other actor who's supposed to play this big, huge guy in a mask broke his ankle. So he couldn't play it. They had no stunt double, nothing. And they went to me and they said, hey, Michael, would you be willing to play this other character? Played this other character in a mask, and no one knew that I did. So,
and you were Danny's stunt double or body double in Part 5 as well. You're always playing,
yeah, it's true.
Multiple hats.
Jamie, did you know that I played 2 characters in Nightmare on Elm Street 5?
No, that I did not know.
Come on, man. I played Super Freddy, and then at the beginning of the film, it's Dream Child. So how do you have the where I'm on. My
He's
dog wants me to
really
take
the
him outside.
father.
I'm on a podcast right now. Anyway, so I'm just trying to tell him he needs to hold his pee-pee. But I was gonna say, yeah, I was standing on the set, dressed as Freddy Krueger, ready to go on because I was on there for a few days to do this Super Freddy. And I saw the cast director and the director, talking, and they looking over at me, talking some more, looking over at me, and I'm like, ooh, I'm either in trouble or something's going on. And the director walks over to me and goes, "Hey, Michael, so we're thinking about using you for a love scene." And I'm like, Super Freddy? And they go, "No, the beginning of the film, it's called Dream Child. There needs to be a baby. We'll make a baby. So, the love interest, the lead actress and the actor, Danny Hassel and forgot the lady's name, but anyway, her, Lisa Wilcox, they are going to make love. And then, of course, you have body doubles for them. So we want you to be the body double for Danny." And so when I finished, Super Freddy, next thing you know, I'm laying in bed naked with this girl. So, I had a, flesh colored loincloth on, and she had like bikini briefs, but she was topless. And so we were laying there, and I'm not an expert at the whole movie lovemaking thing or whatever. And so I'm like, after a while, I'm like, cut. Okay, we need to. Can I just sit here for a while? I need to relax because I'm not getting up. So kind of messing around there, but anyway, so it was fun though. And I'm like, man, you gotta love Hollywood, right? Doing something like that.
Well,
So
you take on many hats. You can be the villain. You can be the love guy.
yeah, right. I don't think I did watch. Someone was a fan. I did an episode of She Spies, and there's three spies, and there's other girl named Brooke Burns. She was a guest spy that came on, and they're trying to get me to talk, and they beat the crap out of me, and I'm not talking. So finally, the one girl just, I know how to do it, and just lays a big kiss on me. Bam. That's probably the only kiss I've ever had in Hollywood. So that's about it.
But you played so many different characters, like you said, when you worked with Jean-Claude Van Damme, you've done action, you've done horror.
Yep.
Your range is, I think, really underrated of what you've done. I think you underrate yourself sometimes because you really have a great role, and you do comedy well, which isn't easy. I mean, you've done a few comedy movies and played,
movies.
the bad guy, but the clumsy big bad guy. And I think you always pulled that off great. I really enjoyed you in those kind of roles.
And then I've done a ton of sitcoms, comedies. Everything's from, like, I did 2 episodes of Murphy Brown, played her crazy secretary. I don't know if you remember, Jamie, back in the day with Murphy Brown in the 90s, she would always have a different secretary every week, and there's always some twisted secretary. Well, I was the big wrestler secretary, and like everybody else had great secretaries, and Candice Bergen always had, Murphy Brown was the character's name. She always had twisted ones, and so I was her twisted secretary. I'm on a podcast, dude. I can't go right now. No. Anyway, he needs to go to the bathroom. I'm like, you need to hold it right now. You want to come here, mama? Come here. Be on TV. Okay. But yeah, so that I did Malcolm in the Middle. I played a crazy.
That was a good scene. I remember I saw that. You were the coach, right, of the other team.
Jamie, this is perfect for you. So you're gonna be a soccer coach. Watch Malcolm in the Middle and my character. Do not follow what I do, please. So do it, but that was great. I did Flat Urkel and Family Matters. I did Between Brothers. I did a ton of sitcoms. Yeah, in the 90s, a lot of sitcoms. So yeah. And then half-hour episodics. I mean, hour episodics. I've done those. I got to fight some great fighters like Donna Dragon Wilson. I fought a great guy, of course, Van Damme. Sammo Hung, great fighter. If you watch Drunken Master, great Hong Kong fighter, Chinese, very good. I did a movie in Hong Kong, or I'm sorry, in Bangkok, called Black Mass 2. And Wu Ping, who did all the Matrix stunt coordinating for the fighting portion and taught Keanu Reeves, he was the stunt coordinator on our film. It was pretty cool. So got to work with some really great people. Yeah.
There's some legend. Well, with the cons, the conventions and stuff, how many times I know you love talking about all your roles, but when somebody comes up and it's like, I can't believe you remember me from that role, and you'll talk about that.
Yeah.
That's because the fans, though, when they're a fan of you, they know a lot of things, and they'll check out some really obscure things, or they know you from something obscure, and it's got to be a lot of fun.
Jamie, or John knows this, but Jamie, if you track down a movie called Monster Man, if you haven't seen it yet. I play a character named Fuckface. I drive a monster truck. It is freaking awesome. It's got a 70 horror film, a little campy at times, but my character is really badass with a jacked up walk and the way I talk. And there's this whole house scene that's really twisted, just really cool. Brother Bob, who's got half his body cut off and he's still talking, and it's really cool. Yeah, stuff like that. Or I get people come up to me and they say, "Hey, you were great in X-Files." And I'm like, okay, gosh, that's like you pulling that out of nowhere, So I've done or Star Trek, right? I did Star Trek, Voyager.
Well, one of my guys was a big fan. He knew you were in that because he studies Star Trek. He remembers every character, and that's how he knows you the best.
And one of my, I did one of my first prosthetic roles besides the Nightmare on Elm Street was Babylon 5. So I played a Narn. I forgot the name, but I had a couple lines of dialogue when I first started. So yeah, craziness. I've done a lot of pilots that never went, some Amazon pilots and TV pilots that never, took off. Had a lot of great recurring characters on different shows like Nash Bridges. Had some great did a few episodes of that with Cheech Marin. Great working with him. He was a fantastic actor and just a good dude. I had a really fun, over-the-top character named Officer Mike Willis in Traffic. That kind of guy. Yeah. Let me tell you something, son. You ever see a grown man naked? That kind of situation. So that kind of thing. So I do those things. Yeah.
Like I said, there's always things that I remember I've seen you in, and I don't remember I've seen you in it because we've been friends, and but things that I've seen over the years, and it's like that was him, and I'll run into just watching a lot of the shows I used to watch, or reruns.
There's a poster right here on my wall called I have a bunch of posters here and along here all over it, but there's one right here that's called Best of the Best 3. So the Best of the Best series, right? Movie. So Best of the Best 3, the first ones are about fighting. This one right here is the star. He goes to visit his sister who's married, and he's Asian. His sister's Asian, of course. And he's married to a white dude, and they live in this small town in Ohio. Well, there is this neo-Nazi, like white supremacist group that's forming, or it's been formed. And there's this guy who gets Arlie Ermy, him from Full Metal Jacket, right?
Oh yeah,
the drill sergeant. So he's in it. And talk about he and I went golfing on our day off one time. He comes out in knickers, like the whole beanie, the what do you call that thing? The hat, the beanie thing. It's like something out of England, just really cool.
He had his golf outfit ready, huh?
Yeah, and then I went with him, Chris McDonald, and it was me and one other guy. But that movie, I get accused a lot of times of being the character that I play. Like when I finished Undisputed with Ving Rhames and Wesley Snipes, I played Aryan Brotherhood gang leader. And I don't know if you know this, Jamie, but I think John knows this. But we shot this in Vegas. I have Aryan Brotherhood tattoos all over me. And these are ones that don't come off, right? I have a swastika the size of this on the back of my head. Where am I going with a swastika on the back of my head? So I wore a beanie. I wore like a high collared shirt like this to cover up the stuff here. But I had ABs on my hand. I go to this. They put us up at the Caesar's Palace. This is like January, February, so it's cold. So I had a jacket on, so I covered up most of my stuff, but I couldn't cover up the A's and B's. And I go to work out at this gym about half a mile away. I walk there, and it's a gym where all these celebrities work out. So I'm there working out, they're doing the thing. Take off my jacket. I have a long sleeve shirt on, so I cover up everything. I start sweating, and I took my beanie off and wiped my brow. People saw the swastika. Quickly put my beanie back on, finished my workout, and as I'm walking out, everybody is staring at me like I have the plague. I don't know. They're backing away and staring at me. When I go past the front office, there is the people behind the counter are staring at me. I'm like, am I? Oh, they must recognize me from something. Well, that's what it is. Yes, of course. Right? No. As I walk outside, 2 Vegas cop cars pull up. Guys get out, guns drawn. One guy throws me on the hood, hooks me up, and gets in my face as I'm like this on the hood and says, "What school do you go to?" And I went, "What? What school do you go to? You know, mother, whatever." And I'm like, Eastern Michigan? No, asshole, prison. I didn't know school meant, prison, whatever school meant prison. I didn't know that. And I'm like, bent over, handcuffed, my hand, and I'm trying to explain to him, "No, officer, I'm in town doing a movie. It's called Undisputed with Wesley Snipes, and these are all fake tattoos." "They're fake?" I said, "Yes, they're fake." And I said, "Go ahead and scrape one off." So he scrapes one of the A's off my hand, and then unhooks me, turns me around, gets in my face, and says, "Listen, MF, if I see you walking around with those colors around my town, you and I are gonna have some issues. I mean, serious issues." I'm like, all right. So then unhook me, let me go. I walk back to my hotel. Next day, I go to the set. And before I go to the makeup artist, I go, "Hey, can you replace this A?" She's going, "What happened?" So I told her the story, right, about everything that happened. So later on, and Walter Hill is directing this, right? You know who Walter Hill is? Pretty famous director. Did like 48 Hours, a lot of Eddie Murphy movies. I think he directed Warriors way back in the day. Warriors, come out and play. That guy, right? So he, I'm sitting in, I'm ready to go to the set, and Walter walks up to me with this big smile on his face, and he goes, "Michael, so," and he's a little shorter than me, of course, but kind of a stocky dude. He always sat in a low director's chair, and he comes up to me and he goes, "Michael, so I hear you ran a little bit of trouble downtown." And I went, "Yeah." I said, "Walter, I almost got arrested." He goes, "You know what? That's good casting." And he like walks away, and I'm like, "Oh gosh!" So
He wasn't wrong though, huh?
Yeah. So that was pretty interesting. So yeah, great, a lot of stuff like that. So going back to this best of the best 3, there was a part where we killed this black preacher, and Mark Ralston, phenomenal actor, probably one of the most talented actors I've ever worked with. Super nice guy. He and I hung out, got in little trouble, in a good way. Just a good dude. I was his right-hand man, and there's this black guy, and the preacher, and he had a fro, and Mark put a baseball on top of his head, used the baseball and knocked the baseball off his head, and eventually in a rock quarry. So all these extras are on top of the rock quarry. So after he kills the preacher, we all go, "What say you?" And everybody screams out, "White power," and shoots the Heil Hitler thing. I don't know about you, but when I did that, I went, "Holy shit!" It was very unnerving to watch this, and I had like goosebumps, or what you want to call it. Like, holy, this is like, it felt real, because we said it like, "Red power, white power." So we got done with that scene, and they go, "All right, cut, we're going to lunch." So I'm heading to lunch, and here comes some extras. And let me back up a little bit. We shot this in Bedford, Indiana. Bedford, Indiana is the place where the Ku Klux Klan Grand Dragon was born and raised. Everything that started with the Ku Klux Klan started there with this dude. And so this is a hotbed of white supremacy, real white supremacy, racist as fuck as you can believe. And so we were as we were walking to lunch, a couple of these dudes walked up to me, and they had like real on white's power stuff, all this stuff on them. I'm like, hey man, I'm with you, white power. I'm like, what? No, dude. He goes, your tats, they're fake. These are fake tats. Okay. I had not get away from me. Even after Undisputed, I had some black dudes go, hey, yo, dude, I'm gonna mess you up. Like, hey man, I'm an actor. I'm just playing a role. So I always more than a few times I've been accused of playing, being this character, which I'm not. So
Great casting, as you were told.
that's right. Good casting. Yeah. So good stuff.
Yeah. Mike, so many people are going to really enjoy meeting you in Memphis. I'm so glad you're going. I think you're going to really enjoy this event. Jamie,
well,
one of my favorite people.
I'm going to be a hell of a granddad. Oh, I'm actually going to be a granddad either by this week or next week. So
congratulations.
Thank you. My son, who is 27, he's in the military. That's all I can say about him. Him and his wife are having a baby. So, it's going to be pretty awesome. So, I'll be a granddad. My first one. I'm a little late bloomer.
So
but,
is it a boy, or is he having a girl?
He's having a girl. He'll be a girl.
Oh, because you've always had sons, so this will be a little different as a granddad, having the little girl, the big guy and the little girl. So, I have a daughter as well, and there's something special. My dad will even tell you there's something special, especially when you're a granddad having a granddaughter. So you're in for a treat.
And my younger son's a coach at Oklahoma State football. So
yeah, I got to meet your sons at the wedding, which was great. Really nice guys, real big dudes too. Don't upset them. They're just like Mike, very nice people. But you would very big dudes, very big.
No,
and, I'm so excited.
You have any questions for me? I did too much talking.
I think people are going to really enjoy seeing you in Memphis, and I'm so glad you're going. I know me and him have talked about you a few times, and you coming this year. I know he's been excited about as well. When he told me you were going, like, yes, my dude, Mike, because people are, you're a great guy. I mean, you've become friends, but you got, like, even tonight, you have so many interesting stories. There's so many things that you like to talk about, but you're really personable with everybody. And anybody who hasn't had a chance to meet you or seen you on podcasts or in films and stuff, you're one of those people where you walk away from the experience going, what a great guy. That was such a great, experience. And you bring that to a lot of people. So,
well, thank you.
I'm excited.
I've been blessed with the life I've had, but none of this doesn't come without hard work. None of it, right? So, and being an actor or playing football, or I was in the military where I was a paratrooper in the 82nd Airborne Division, and what I do now is I have a tech company. I am the CEO of a tech company, and my days start normally between 2:30 and 3 in the morning, and I work till 9, 10 at night. And this is what I do, right? And I also write in the weekends, and I have my wife's company that we do. And yeah, I'm older, and other people my age are probably thinking about retirement, but that is one thing that's the furthest from my mind. Is I have big dreams still, and I have a lot of stuff to still accomplish, and so yeah.
With the writing, like I said, you're a fantastic writer. I'd love to see some of the things I read put on the screen.
Oh yeah, well, I'm working on Black Moth right now, and I have written some stuff that would freak you out. And there's so much stuff today that's happening in today's world that is so relevant. So,
like I said, anytime Mike says, I got something I want you to read or check out, I'm incredibly honored, but I always look forward to reading it because honestly, yeah, he really puts you in the situation. Like I said, when I was talking about the story that I heard, you put it in such detail. When I've heard about it, it's like I've already seen it in my head because you do write like that. You really
Well,
explain, puts
you
you
know
in
what,
that moment.
the writing started. I did a movie called Space Marines in the 90s. Gosh, who it had John Piper Ferguson in it. I don't know if you know. I was his right hand man. I played a lot of right hand mans, and 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 I played a character named Gunther. I have the poster right here. I'm on the first poster where I'm on it, and I wear a patch over my eye. It's really cool. And the script at the end, we were running at the end of the day. They didn't kill me off, and I'm like, you killed all the other bad guys off. What about me? And they were just left me hanging. So I went to the director, and I said, "Hey, you don't mind? Let me write this last scene of me." And so I did it, and they shot it, and now it's the tag of the movie. So you think the movie's end, then all of a sudden the credits roll, then all of a sudden, me pops up and go, "It's payback time." Well, maybe not right now, kind of situation. So anyway, it's this whole little comedy bit. So my character's still alive. So I went to the director. I said, "Hey, could I write a sequel to this?" And when you've done enough movies and TV shows, you know how scripts work, right? The format and things like that. And I'm a good story, teller and write. I've always written short stories. I know there's a beginning and a middle and an end. And so I started writing, and I did a ton of research. I, bought a lot of books and read out, screenplay structure and things like that. What needs to happen in the first 10 pages, 30 pages, all that stuff. And so I wrote a sequel. It was called what was it called? I forgot. Anyway, Gunther's Redemption or something like that. It's my character. I don't know, something kind of goofy thing, but it's a space movie, right? It's fun, over the top, kind of fun. And the producers of it, I showed it to them, and they said, "Yeah, and I started feeling like they're going to screw me. And so I said, I want my script back. No, we're not doing it. I didn't. So I changed the name of it to Dark Sun, rewrote it. And there's a ton of other stories that I've had in my head. And because I wrote this one screenplay, I wrote another 10 others. And that's what I've been doing. And I feel, I'm not here to get a compliment from anyone, and I don't want any comments, but I feel personally, it's my own honest opinion, that I'm a better writer than I was as an actor. I love writing. I love words. I love how get words together can evoke emotion. I love telling story. I love making people feel just by what the words you put on the page. And so all that together, it's been a great journey. And I could sit in my room, turn off the light, and stare at my computer and do that until 5 days later, I'll come out, right? I love doing that. So yeah, it's fun.
Well, I can't argue with you because, yeah, you know how I feel about your writing. Anytime I talk to you or I bring you on or we're talking about anything you've done,
Yeah.
One of my favorite things to talk about is your writing because you are fantastic.
I have not written a horror film yet, so I have an idea for one.
Now you got to put it on your docket. You need 5 days in your room.
I know. So, but Jamie, if you want, I'll send you a script. You can read it if you have. I know you're busy.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I mean, like, just your storytelling alone. That's I'm just sitting here just listening because I love hearing behind the scenes kind of stuff and how things come together. I mean, it's.
Oh, has John ever told you a story about me this far from playing Leatherface?
No.
Brought it up tonight too, but yeah, I didn't tell him.
You want me to tell him?
Yeah, go for it. You even got some great pictures too. Well, you should bring some to sign.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have the first one, right? You have the first remake, right? And first one had Brett Wagner at first. Do you know his story and how he got Brett Wagner got the Leatherface?
Yeah, well, he went from what Brett told me. He went up to the director and said, "You need an actor, not just a big guy or a wrestler."
He was at like in LA. They have these big rooms where you can have casting. It's casting rooms. So you have one like commercial, maybe a industrial film. These are rooms, right? And you're set in the middle. And he auditioned for like a commercial and saw this thing for Leatherface, and then went over there and said, "Hey, I've been trying to get to read for this, whatever." He walked in and he told the casting director who was there, was putting people on tape. He said, "You mind if I, talk to the director through the camera?" And that's what he did. And he ended up getting it, which is pretty freaking awesome. So that's how he did it. But I'm telling you, Brett Wagner is a hustler, and he's a freaking good dude.
Yeah, he knows how to market very well.
Yeah, he does. Very, very much so. Just a natural, he's a, ex-professional
He's a
wrestler.
natural entertainer. He's a natural voice too. He's got that voice
that
where
wrestler thing. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he's very good at what he does.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to talk about. Anyway, what were we talking about?
We were talking about how you almost got cast as Leatherface.
Oh yeah. So we know when Brett got hurt, another actor came in to replace him, right? And so that actor was a difficult person to work with, right? So when the sequel came out, they, from what I understand, they begrudgingly hired him to do the sequel. And during that filming of that, at the beginning, I guess he got in a big fight with KMB, the makeup effects artist people. And during that, Greg Nicotero called me and said, "How soon can you be in Austin?" And before he started filming the sequel, he says, "I have a feeling this is going to go sideways. Why don't you come to KMB and I want to make you up like Leatherface?" I said, "Okay, just in case." So that's what happened. So I was made up like it. Now I'm not like Leatherface. I mean, Leatherface guy is pretty big dude, right? I'm more muscular and trimmer, right? Than that. But they gave me a like a kind of a fat suit or something like that, a little bulkier suit underneath to make me look bigger, and did the whole hair thing and on the mask and all that stuff, and took all the pictures and stuff like that. And then about, I don't know, a couple weeks within the filming of the second one, he called me and says, "How soon can you be in Atlanta?" I said, "How soon you want me?" He goes, give me 30 seconds to see if I can get out of this, get this thing squared away." And 30 minutes went by, and he called me and he was pissed, and he says, "I can't do it. We paid too much money, so we're stuck." And that's how it happened.
The test photos are fantastic, though. You should put some on your table this time.
Can I share here?
Yeah, please.
Let me see if I could. Let me do this real quick. Hold on. There we go. Okay. I can do this. I can do this. And we're sharing.
Yeah, he would have made a pretty cool looking Leatherface for sure. I really like the test shots. It's badass.
Okay. All right, let me go here. Close this.
Oh, sorry. Let me move that. When you're ready, I'll pull it up for you.
What the hell? Just photos. Can you see that?
Oh, I'll pull it up now. You'd have to put it on more of a full screen.
All right. Well, let me pull it down. Maybe. I'm sure I'm the wrong one. Hold on. Let me go back.
I'll leave it up here. Once you got it up there, I'll pull it back up for you. Another shot I like that he's got is when he's
there. You go. Can you see that?
Yeah, let's pull that up.
Oh wow!
And you have one with the mask on too.
Yeah. Let me get that. Let me get that going. So hold on. Stop share. Let me do one more right here.
Hold on. Kitty cat, stop tearing. God, cat's a handful. Good cat, though. I don't know what she's been up to. She's been running around the house.
There you go.
All right, we pull it up. Would have been pretty
Oh
badass.
man,
Yeah, I really like that photo
that's
a lot.
awesome.
Gnarly.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So that's just another Hollywood story, right? Stuff like this happens all the time, you know. And you know, I know the guy that I was going, you know, possibly replace, and I love that dude. He's great. He's a great. We have done a couple, 2 or 3 movies together. Had some great experiences together. But business is
Overall, he
business.
did a great job as he did a great job as
Oh,
Leatherface.
he's a badass dude. No, he's great. So
But I
yeah.
could have definitely seen you as well too. I mean, you've done some great roles, and luckily I don't want to say luckily, but Pluto's such a great character that you played in The Hills Have Eyes. It's so memorable, and I know Mike still got his chainsaw award too. That thing's heavy, made out of concrete.
Right there.
And, yeah.
Ever seen that, Jamie? This thing, I'll show it to you.
You gonna bring it to Memphis, Mike?
No. This thing is yeah, so look at that.
Oh
It's got my
wow.
name on it. Fuse Fangoria Chainsaw Awards. So I've been telling this story about the Red Hot Chili Peppers. How much time do we have? Do I have to go?
As much as you want. Hey, I'm not gonna kick off Michael Bailey.
I got one more story, and then I'm done. So, are you ready, Jamie, for this story?
Ready.
Okay. So I finished with the Dallas Cowboys. I come back, and I'm trying to go back to school. You know, I'm not feeling it. I'm taking classes that I never go to, just pissing life away. And I start bouncing at this bar and get really good at it. I'm 6'4", 295 pounds, and about 9% body fat. I'm just freaking yoked out muscle dude, and I'll show you a picture of that. What I used to look like. But anyway, so okay. Here. I can see this. How can I do this? Can you see that?
It's
What the?
glare.
Why is it the glare here? Stop
Yeah,
the glaring. Anyway, I have hair. Anyway, I'm a big dude. So my thing is, so I'm bouncing at this bar. I become the head bouncer. Well, this place was in just outside of Detroit area, and every night was a different night. There was new music night. There was straight up gay night. There was I had a gay DJ and everybody was there. There was a Wednesdays was band night, Tuesdays and Thursdays top 40, Fridays, and then Saturdays it was all that. So every night was different. Wednesday night we had all these different bands come. I had Black Flag that came to the bar. It was a bar that held 1,000 people, and it was like a Roman Coliseum cut in half. It had 3 levels on it with a dance floor down and a stage for the band. So we had Black Flag come, we had Fish, we had just so many great Loverboy bands came, all these 80s and, bands came. This is 1987. So Red Hot Chili Peppers were going to come. Red Hot Chili Peppers wasn't famous yet, right? So they were still kind of they're from, some of these guys were from Michigan. And so I was gonna say, so they asked before they started playing. They asked us to stand in front of the stage, make sure no one could stage dive. But said there's gonna be a mosh pit behind you, but you can put your backs to the mosh pit and look to the stage, make sure no one stage dives. So all my bouncers were getting the crap beat out of them. They started playing because the mosh pit was happening. People flailing arms and fists and knees and legs and kicking and whatever, right? And so I saw this, and I'm the head bouncer. And I told the rest of the guys, hey, start fighting. Don't just freaking take a punch. if someone gets close, throw an elbow or whatever, right? Fight a little bit to keep these guys off you, because it's ridiculous. Because my guys are getting beat up really bad. I went down there for a while too, and I got freaking smashed in the head. And so about 3/4 of the way through, I would say 3/4 of the way through this Chili Peppers set, Anthony Kiedis said, "Stop, everybody stop the music, stop the music." And he turns to everybody in the audience, 1,000 people, and says, "I want everybody here to beat the fuck out of the bouncers." We brawled from 11 to about 2 in the morning, fighting 12 of us against 1,000 people. And the women didn't fight us, of course, but a lot of these dudes were throwing punches. I had one of my guys got stabbed. I had a couple guys get the shit beat out of them really bad. And those guys got off the stage and went to the green room laughing all the way with their groupie chicks. And so we cleared the bar out by 2 o'clock. We were pissed. We sat out in the foyer, and there's only one way out of the bar, and that's at the front door. And this front door had like 3 mirrored glass doors with the push bar to pop them open. So we were waiting out there in the foyer, and about 2:30, here comes the band. I had Anthony Kiedis around the neck, up against the wall, above my head, squeezing the life out of him and explaining to him what he did wrong and what he should never do again. And
you just wanted to make it very clear to him so he understood.
Yes, I did. And my buddy, who was the best man at my wedding, had flee sideways up against the wall. And my guys had the 2 other guys, or 3 or 2 other guys, I forget, 4 guys in the band maybe. The drummer and a couple of guys, had them pinned against the wall too. We expressed our displeasure very much. We picked them up and we tossed them physically in the air, through the doors, outside. They hit the pavement, and they got up, and they said to us, F all of you, we're going to be rich and famous, and you're still going to be stupid fucking bouncers, right? And they walked off laughing and whatever. And so let's flash forward now 20 years later. I'm at the Orpheum Theater in downtown Los Angeles. I am up for the best fight scene for The Hills Have Eyes at the Fuse Fangoria Chainsaw Awards. I end up winning this award. I get up there, give a speech, do all this stuff. I meet Ram Zombie and everybody, whatever, all this stuff. So if you've been to an award show, it's very staged, right? There's a camera sitting on you, whatever. It's just really staged. I have an aisle seat. So when after the award, I went backstage and met all these people and stuff. And then I came back and finally sat down on my seat again. And my manager is sitting right next to me. And about 3 or 4 rows up, there is Anthony Kiedis. And when they said, okay, the show's wrapped, congratulations, everybody's cheering, whatever, he gets up and he goes, dude, you were freaking awesome in The Hills Have Eyes. I loved your character. You were freaking awesome. You're a badass dude. And he went over, shook my hand, and I said, hey, man, we met before. And back then I had hair, and now I'm bald, right? So, and he goes, really, man? I said, yeah, back in Detroit. And he's like, oh, man, those are fuzzy days. I don't know, man. I don't know anything about that. And I said, yeah, man. I said, you and I, we had a conversation. It was a pretty good one. And my managers elbow me, do not push this. do not do this. So I didn't say anything else. He goes, well, good, man. We'll keep it up. Good job. Big fan. And he walks off. So that was my Red Hot Chili Pepper story. So I told that story on Facebook, and I took a big story of how this whole thing happened, and people were trying to guess who it was. A lot of people guessed right off the bat it was the Chili Peppers. So it's pretty funny.
You've got so many great stories, like we've talked about. Needs to be put in a book and on film.
I'm an old dude. Is what happens. You'll see when you guys get old. You'll have stories too.
You just have a fascinating history, from your pro football days to your military days to your acting days to your family days. with your sons and raising your sons. But we also had Jamie. You wanted to also. You had a big announcement tonight as
Yes.
well for Memphis. So
Yeah,
we're going to
so
add a little bit of fun to Memphis MonsterCon.
So, I always say it's our final guest, and then we end up booking somebody else down the road. But this is our final guest. We're lucky enough to for our final guest. She just started doing shows again. The great Carrie Keegan, final girl from Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. She's going to be our final guest, and this is
Good one.
stacking up to be probably our best show so far. So I'm just really excited
Good.
about everybody that we have, from Mr. Michael Bailey Smith, Scout Taylor Compton, Ari Lehman, Warrington Gillette. I mean, the list goes on and on. And I mean, super
Yeah,
excited.
great.
We have a new charity this year. Last year we paired with the Mid South Food Bank. This year we're with a charity called Reconnect for Autism. So we're gonna be doing a big silent auction to help benefit them. Um, we've got the original Green Goblin head from Maximum
Maximum
Overdrive.
Overdrive.
It's its 40th anniversary this year. So just
My
super,
mom always
super
loves seeing
excited.
that because she's got her, her goblin in the front of her scooter. So she loves to see that. So I'm sure she'll be bringing that along with her. She's excited for Memphis as well. But yeah, amazing guest list and amazing final announcement, final guest, as you say. It's going to be a great show. Some great, great people. Michael Bailey Smith. Everybody's going to enjoy meeting him, as you can see tonight. He's one of those guys you can sit and talk to for hours, and you genuinely embrace talking about your career and all these different characters. And when you get a chance to talk about it, and you get yourself right back in there, and you genuinely enjoy it. And fans of yours, it captivates them. A lot of people maybe don't like to talk about stuff, but you like to talk about everything, and that's what makes you a fan favorite.
I don't talk to brag. I talk because I love entertaining people.
Right.
And I'm just as comfortable not talking at all, but it's fun sometimes. And half the time when I do talk to somebody, they end up being motivational speeches. Because if I can do it, if I can be, have done the things that I've done, and I've been very blessed, again, not without hard work, of course, then anybody can do it. And, speaking of that, Ari, this was like last year or whatever. I remember I did Krypticon, whatever, and the one in Minneapolis. You were there, John.
Yep.
And Ari was there. And Ari walked up to me and says, "Hey, Michael, years ago, you and I were doing a show together, and you told me something that I'll never forget." And it was a motivational thing that I told him, that, no is just never no. It's just not right now, and stuff like that has really motivated him to do what he's doing today. Right. So I don't know if, and I don't really remember having this conversation with him, but he told me this as I had a conversation with him, and I'm like, that's fantastic. Maybe it's because I'm getting old and my memory's going bad. I don't think so, but that's what he said to me, and that really, really struck me, that, someone who I speak to once in a blue moon when I see him at a show would take the time and go up and tell me that. So that means a lot. And I love helping people, whenever they need help, or kick them into the butt when they need to be kicked in the butt. I like that too. So
sometimes you need it,
Yeah.
Ari will be there, so you'll be able to talk to him more. I love, the first Jason band, bass amp. I really enjoyed the whole band and Ari. So gotten to meet him several times and gotten him to know him over the years. So really excited. Melanie Kinnaman going, Scout Taylor. I mean, it's going to be such a great show, and there's a lot of really cool after hours and during the event things you got planned, Jamie. And as we do a few more roads to Memphis, we'll try to kick out some more so we can catch up with everybody and keep everybody updated, to talk about, because there is going to be a lot going on, including our great guest tonight, Michael Bailey Smith. It's not going to be a boring weekend. It's going to be an exciting weekend.
Quit.
I can't wait to see you and Paige. I mean, it's always good to see
That
you.
right there is the movie star, not me. She is.
He is a
She
movie
is.
star. But you guys make such a great team, and I can't wait.
I am blessed by that, because trust me, after I got divorced, I didn't know. I was kind of lost, and then I met her, and it felt so good to fall in love again, and just be loved, right? I miss that, and she is just the most wonderful, caring, kind. I mean, we're driving down the road and there's some guy I live in LA for a billion years, right? You become jaded to homeless people, because most of them have their Mercedes around the corner, right? As they got their sign saying, and you try to give them food, they're like, no, I want money. Why? Because you want to go buy drugs, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. So in LA, you get jaded. There's a homeless guy here a little while ago, and Paige and I were driving. Oh, we need to help him. We're not helping him. No, we're going to pull up the ATM. We end up getting like $40. I'm like, well, I love I love her for that. She's just much kinder
You
than
guys
me.
make an amazing team. You guys are both amazing people. I think the world of you both, and I'm so glad she's coming to the show and people are going to get to meet her. Jamie, you're gonna. I mean, as you can tell, you and Michael are going to get along great.
Oh, yeah.
And once you get a chance to meet Paige,
Yeah.
and all Michael's fans get to meet Paige. She's an amazing person. Mike's an amazing person, and one of the most fun people that you can have an experience with. I'm telling you, he is a great guy, and
Quit. Stop with that. Stop.
Hey, I gotta say it, Mike. I mean, me and you are pals, and we haven't had a chance to do a show since, I think, Scarefest, and even that we didn't get a chance to spend a lot of time. But with me doing the panels, I can't wait to get up there and talk to you on stage a bit, and probably learning more that I didn't know about you. There's always something new that I haven't heard before, and it's always fun to hear about with you, because you do have all those experiences.
I'm writing a book called The Holy Shit Factor. So in
I
your
like
life,
that.
you need to have the holy shit factor in your life. So
I like it. That's
like
a great title.
the house that we bought. We just bought a house. Me and my wife did just recently. It's not the biggest house, but when you walk in, you go, holy shit, this is really awesome. Like when you go on vacation, just spend a little more and get a nicer seat, maybe first class, and have that holy shit experience. When you get off and go to the hotel room, spend a little more to get the nicer room, and look out the window like we did. We spent extra when we went to Niagara Falls to get the holy shit view of the Niagara Falls from the 10th story up. All of this stuff, right? Have the holy shit factor in life, because, dude, you have one chance. This moment that you and I are having right now, we'll never get back again. It's gone forever. So have the holy shit factor. And my whole life has been like that. From the military, jumping out of perfectly good airplanes to college football, to the whole Hollywood thing.
Holy shit.
Yeah, a lot of holy shits. So
yeah.
That's what you have to have. And look, I'm in my 60s and I've started my own company. My wife is in her 60s and started her own company. So how crazy is that? We should be retiring.
I can't see you guys just sitting back and not working.
No.
I mean, you guys are go-getters, and that's what keeps you so youthful. I mean, you guys are really youthful people, and you guys are always on the go. Like you said, you don't take breaks. You don't even sleep that much.
I started today at 2:30. It's now 10:40.
And you'll be
not 2:30 in the afternoon, 2:30 a.m. Yeah.
But that's great. And tell Paige I said hi. I really miss you both, and I can't wait to see you. Jamie, it was awesome catching up with you. We will try to keep you guys updated on the road to Memphis and Memphis MonsterCon 3D. Love that name and the title. And there's so much more that we're going to be able to discuss with everybody. Yeah, it's very cool. And honored to have you on again, Mike. Always fun sitting down and talking to you and hearing the stories and just catching up. It's been too long. It's been too long for all of us, and it's been a fun night. I really enjoyed this, and thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Michael Bailey. Thank you, chat. Thank you, everybody there. And until
John,
next
you're
time.
awesome. Jamie's awesome. Thank you both. John, you're always an awesome individual, and Jamie, We've spoke a couple times on the phone, and I can't wait to do your show and yeah, get to hang out with you a bit. So I'm coming down
It's gonna be a
early, I
fun.
think, for
Yep,
you.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
a fun time. Try to get you on
Love it.
TV on that Friday.
Okay. Make sure that the lighting's very soft. You know, I look really handsome.
And he
Looks
has
like
the
I
right
could wear a
makeup
wig.
guy.
Yeah, something like that. So
And he wants M&Ms, but remove all the yellow M&Ms. He doesn't like
yes,
eating them.
no. I have a bag of M&Ms right down here. So anyway, good stuff.
Well,
No,
thank
it'd
you,
be awesome. Thank
everyone.
you. I'm very honored and privileged. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Honor is mine. And we'll talk soon, guys. See you later. Peace out.
Thank you. Thank you.